While Prince Harry engages in heartfelt conversations with battle-scarred Ukrainian soldiers on the front lines of an actual war zone, the incomparable Meghan Markle has boldly embarked on her own version of combat operations, dramatically evading completely imaginary paparazzi through supposedly treacherous concrete canyons of Manhattan, all while being chauffeured around in an absolutely preposterous four-vehicle motorcade. Yes, you read that correctly. 4 separate automobiles dedicated to transporting a single former cable television actress. And we were led to believe this woman desperately craved privacy and a life away from public scrutiny. The irony is truly delicious. According to the meticulous reporting of Page 6, this particular exhibition was not remotely comparable to your standard high-profile celebrity arrival. Oh no, nothing so pedestrian would suffice for our Duchess. Meghan majestically descended upon the theater district ensconced within an elaborate procession of menacingly blacked-out SUVs that would have been more appropriate for a visiting head of state conducting official diplomatic business, or perhaps Beyoncé at the absolute peak of her cultural dominance. Except that even Queen Bey herself, reigning supreme atop the entertainment industry pyramid, doesn't typically travel with such an extravagant entourage or demand such extraordinary security measures for a simple evening at the theater. One particularly forthright paparazzo, ironically the very species Meghan ostensibly requires such elaborate measures to avoid, demonstrated the admirable gumption to call the charade precisely what it indisputably is: absolutely abnormal, completely over the top, and wildly excessive by any reasonable standard. To provide essential contextual perspective that highlights the extravagance, consider that Taylor Swift, arguably one of the most instantly recognizable and legitimately famous women currently walking the planet, typically navigates a considerably more demanding schedule with just 2 vehicles, one for herself and one for her professional team. Furthermore, Ms. Swift somehow manages to conduct a substantially more high-profile affairs without feeling compelled to draft the entire NYPD into service as a personal security detail. But Meghan, it seems, operates on an entirely different plane of existence, or perhaps more accurately, within her own meticulously constructed alternate reality where normal rules of proportionality and self-awareness cease to apply. The unnamed but clearly well-informed source added the devastatingly accurate observation: "It's completely ridiculous that the city is paying for this level of security." Indeed, this assessment strikes at the heart of the matter. Unless Meghan's royal ambitions have mysteriously transformed from merely delusional to somehow receiving actual government funding and official sanction, someone with appropriate authority really ought to prepare and send her an itemized invoice for these unnecessary expenditures of public resources. The taxpayers of New York City surely have more pressing concerns than subsidizing the theatrical entrance of a self-important duchess with a pathological need for attention. But perhaps the most laughably transparent aspect of this entire choreographed spectacle lies in its suspicious timing. Harry, having recently testified in a UK court regarding his supposedly desperate need for comprehensive full-time protection services, nevertheless courageously travels to an actual active war zone where genuine dangers exist. Meanwhile, Meghan, suddenly finding herself alone without her husband, and with their children mysteriously absent from this particular narrative, their whereabouts known only to the Sussexes and their staff, immediately rushes to claim center stage. Quite literally, the very instant the media spotlight momentarily swings away from a preferred position directly upon her carefully contoured face. Because let's be brutally honest about what we're witnessing. If Harry or any member of the royal family manages to attract even the smallest molecule of media attention or public interest, you can absolutely guarantee that Meghan will be out the door faster than you can pronounce photo opportunity, frantically ensuring she grabs an equally prominent headline of her own, preferably accompanied by professionally retouched images that present her in the most flattering light possible. Her playbook has become so transparently predictable and pathetically worn out that even the traditionally voracious tabloid publications have begun expressing boredom with her endlessly recycled attention-seeking strategies. And we simply cannot overlook the pièce de résistance of this elaborate production, those meticulously staged backstage photographs. There she was, strategically positioned alongside the cast members, adopting the solemn yet approachable demeanor of a distinguished dignitary conducting an official state visit of profound diplomatic importance. Did any other ordinary audience member receive similar special treatment or exclusive backstage access? Of course not. Such privileges are exclusively reserved for Meghan Markle, self-declared global humanitarian extraordinaire, the uncrowned Duchess of Drama, and the undisputed queen of unnecessary theatrical excess both on and off actual stages. What exactly is she representing through these elaborately staged appearances beside herself and her increasingly transparent personal brand of performative glamour and superficial compassion? Let's confront the uncomfortable truth. The only thing more excessive and unnecessarily inflated than Meghan's motorcade is her own apparently boundless ego and insatiable appetite for public adoration and constant validation from strangers.